Supporting a child who's been bereaved when they come into school has to be a whole school issue. I know when I had a child in my class and his dad died and he came back in, I'd taken cards up to the house already. I talked about it and the death, and we talked about how the boy would be feeling and what we could do to support him when he came back to school. One of the things we did was I actually moved him so he sat on a table with his best mates. His best mates set up a little club. I think it was called the Orange Club, and only certain people could be in it. And the boy that came back, he actually was in charge of who was to be in this club. And that was brilliant because it gave him control over something, because so much else in his life was just happening. And bringing him back to school, it gave him control of something. And the club, the rest of the class understood that this little group was just going to help him. And they sort of wrapped themselves around him just to support him. And that was, for me, that was just fantastic, just to see the children, and they came up with that themselves. Other things that we did in the school was I started a little book with him, and if he wanted to talk about anything, he could come to me at any time. And the book that he and I started lived in my bag. And 3 or 4 times he just came to me and said, "Can you get your book out?" So he wasn't actually saying, "I want to talk about my dad." I'd removed it by one stage, and we just got the book out. And in the book I had 2 columns. I had what I'm thinking about now, and we wrote that in the left-hand column, and then when he came back to talk to me the next time, we'd look at how he was feeling about something last time, and we'd fill in the right-hand column as to what he thought about it now. And that was a real insight for me into his life, what he was feeling, so I could help him through. And I think it was helpful to him because he came back several times. And I did pass the book up with his permission, I passed the book up to his next teacher.